You guys, this is how we're going to do selection sort for lab 9. This is the first 6 elements of your vector that you just read in from your file. And we need to keep track of which elements we've sorted and then where the smallest element is. So we're going to start with the very first position of your vector, which is the 0th position of your vector. And you're going to go through and find the smallest one. So right now, Sophia is the earliest in the alphabet. But when you move over one, Emma is now the earliest. So now we're going to keep track of Emma and keep going down and compare Emma with Isabella. Emma is still the earliest. So now we're going to compare Emma with Emily, and Emily is now the earliest. So now we're going to keep track of Emily, compare it with Olivia. Emily is earlier than Olivia. Compare it with Ava. Okay, Ava is the earliest in our vector. We are doing the 0th position, so we're going to swap Ava and Sophia. Swap. So the 0th position is done, and so now we're going to find the correct spot for the first position. Emma is now the earliest, so now we're going to compare it with the next one, which is Isabella. Emma is earlier in Isabella than the alphabet, so we keep going. Emma is not earlier than Emily, so Emily is our new pointer. Then you compare that with Olivia and Sophia. Out of the remaining 5, Emily was the earliest in the alphabet, so we're going to swap Emily and Emma. The first 2 positions are done. Now we go to the index 2 in your vector. We're going to deal with Isabella. So we need to find the next smallest out of these 4. Isabella is not smaller than Emma, so we are going to look at Emma as our earliest in the alphabet. Then we're going to go on to Olivia and Sophia. Out of these 4, Emma was the earliest, so we're going to swap Emma and Isabella. The first 3 are done. Now we have to do the last 3. So we're looking at Isabella, which currently is the earliest in the alphabet. Compare that with Olivia. It's not earlier than the alphabet. Compare that with Sophia. Isabella is where it is. So now we move on and look at just these 2, Olivia, and compare that with Sophia, and they don't need to be swapped. So this is the order of your vector according to selection sort.